Hello, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jessica Loren, and I have been a mascara artist for 2 years. And my topic today is helping you guys out with one-on-one sales. So a little bit about me: I don't have a background in sales. I've never had a career in sales, and I've never really even taken any classes in sales. But through trial and error, I have kind of gotten a rhythm with sales, and I will say that for me, 99% of my sales are a direct result from a one-on-one interaction with a lady, whether it be in a one-on-one appointment or an in-home party or a vendor event or a pop-up event. So I have gained a few tips and tricks along the way that I'd like to share with you today, and hopefully you will learn something from this and maybe gather a few tools in your sales toolbox as well. So first of all, I think it's super important to make your space warm and inviting and a place where ladies want to come. So when I was first starting out and doing color matches, I was having the ladies come into my home at my kitchen table because the light was really good right there. But I have slowly transitioned. I now have made my library / office into a makeup parlor, and it's super private. When the ladies come to my home, they're not seeing my kitchen, they're not seeing my living space, they're not seeing where my kids are. They're coming right into the makeup parlor. We shut the doors. I have a little bit of music on, and we go ahead and get started. And I always try to compliment them on something. I compliment them on, their skin or their eyes or their outfit or their shoes or something. I always try to start off with a positive, just to gain that rapport, to make them feel comfortable and make them feel at home. I also offer them a beverage of choice. What would you like to sip on while we do our color match? Sometimes I'll have snacks out as well. So anything that you can do to get them to feel like they're at home, that they're welcome, and that you are just so appreciative of the opportunity. So once the ladies come on in, I have them sit down, and the first thing I do is ask them for a before picture. And I think it's super important because at the end, I'm going to be asking them for an after picture. So they might be a little bit hesitant, especially the ones who are very self-conscious, but that's okay. And I tell them it's your choice. You can do the before picture with your old makeup on, or we can wipe it off and you can just start your before picture with a makeup-free picture. So whatever they're most comfortable with, but 9 times out of 10, they agree to it. So I snap their picture and I just put my phone aside, and then we get going into the color match. So when I am explaining the makeup, I'm just kind of going through my palette before I put any makeup on them, and I'm going through the steps, okay? So I'm going through, I explain that it's a 4-step process. We do highlight foundation, we do contour, I show them all my lip and cheeks, and then I go through the illuminator options. I also get my palette out of eyeshadows, and I say there's also some really cool, fun eyeshadow looks that we can talk about if you're interested after we do the color match. So, and then we just kind of get started. And for me, what I like to do when ladies come in is build relationships with them. So I kind of ask what they've used in the past for makeup, what they have liked about it, what they have not liked about it, what they're currently using. And then I just kind of tell them my mascara story as well. Somehow in that, I interject that in the makeover, whether it be in the beginning or at the end. I tell them my experience with makeup, how I found mascara, how it has changed my makeup game, and so on and so forth. So some ladies are really curious. They're like, how did you even find this? And I'm so happy to share it with them. So I always try to interject my story in that color match as well. Because like I said, it's all about building relationships with these ladies, and that's the number one thing you'll want to do, is build a relationship with them. So when they leave, they feel like they have a friend in you, that they have somebody they can count on to text anytime to ask makeup questions. So anyway, and then we get started in the color match. And as I'm just putting makeup on them, I'm giving them a lot of control. I am asking them about colors. Do they like it a little lighter? Do they like a heavier coverage? Are they more into warm colors? Are they more into cool colors? And when we get to the blushes, I say, do you like a lighter intensity or a heavier intensity? I'm giving them a lot of simple options, simple choices, because that way they kind of feel a little bit of ownership. Not that I'm controlling the whole thing, that they have ownership in it as well. And I think that's important too for the sale. So anyways, we go through all of that. And as I'm putting colors on them, I am constantly writing those colors down on a mascara order form, as if they are going to place an order. I always assume they are. So I like to keep track of my colors on this thing. And if you guys don't have any order forms yet, you'll want to grab some. But it's carbon copy, so it's easy for you to keep a copy. It's easy for them to take a copy. And I'm just jotting everything that I'm using on this order form while we're talking. And so I'm not only writing down colors, I'm writing down brushes, I'm writing down stay spray, I'm writing down everything. So once we get to the end of the color match and the final product, I give them a mirror and I ask them what they think, and 100% of the time they're truly amazed. And at that point, I ask them, is there anything you would like me to change about your makeup? Is there anything you want me to correct or fix or alter in any way? After that part is all said and done, it's time for the after picture, and that's the most fun. So I have an app on my phone where I can snap an after picture, and I always get it. I get their before picture and after picture in the same exact position, so it's truly an identical side by side. And then I immediately show them the before and after right on my phone. I hold my phone up to them and I say, here's your before and after. What do you think? And that's the most fun, because their faces are going to light up. They're going to say, oh my gosh. Even the most subtle changes they notice and they absolutely love. So I think it's really powerful to do that before and after. And at that point, I do ask them if I can post their before and after on social media. And if they say no, that's completely fine. I then ask them if I can keep it for my portfolio. And most of the time they do say yes. So I always like to get their permission before I do anything. If they do say yes for posting on social media, I do tag them, because that will get, especially on Facebook, that will get their friends to get a notification that they were tagged. And that's how my business really took off, was tagging ladies in my Facebook posts, their before and afters, because that drummed up a lot of interest with their friends. So that was a really good way for me to gain momentum as I was first starting out. So when that's said and done, I'll say, depending on how the appointment went and depending on the rapport, I will just say, I will ask them for the sale. That's plain and simple. You just have to ask for the sale. You cannot be afraid of asking for the sale. There's multiple ways of going about that. So if I have had a really good connection with the lady, and she is just somebody I clicked with, I might say something along the lines, oh my gosh, this makeup is so beautiful on you, you have to order it now. Or I might step back a little bit and say something along the lines of, what can I order for you today? And then we'll just kind of go from there. But I do review the order sheet. I do review everything we used on them. And I think it's important to say along the way, interject something along the lines of, what questions can I answer for you today? Because they might be thinking about questions, and you might be so excited about the makeup, you don't think, wow, what questions can I answer for them? So If they have any questions about the makeup or the process or the steps, be sure to answer their questions. Take some time to answer some questions. If you don't know the answer to a question or two, that's okay. Just say something like, I don't know the answer right now, but I will ask somebody on my team and I will get back to you in 24 hours, and be sure to do that. And then at the end, I also like to end with, on a good note with compliment, whether they buy or not. It's okay. If a lady says, I'm going to think about it, I'd like to see how it wears, blah, 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 say that's okay. And then rip off this order sheet and give her a copy so she can take home and kind of review her colors and stew about it and think about it. So whether they buy or not, what I like to do is end on a super positive note. I always end in a compliment like, wow, your eyes are popping, or, oh, it was such a pleasure to meet you, or whatever. And truly mean it. Be sincere, because if you're not sincere, people can pick up on that. So find something that you absolutely loved about that appointment. Thank them for the opportunity and leave them with a copy of the order form. Now, one thing I will say is if a lady leaves me and she decides she wants to think about it, or she wants to see how it wears, or she needs some time, I say that's okay. I give her the order form, and then later that night, before I go to bed, I'll text her before and after, just so that she can see the difference. Because what I have found is sometimes ladies who are on the fence, they need a little bit more of a push, so that before and after, 9 times out of 10, can be the push for them to say, okay, I want to purchase. So, and always, 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 once you make that sale, always follow up with them. I mark my calendar a couple weeks later. I mark a reminder to check in with them. And I say something along the lines of, hey, just checking in. Are you still loving the makeup? Do you have any questions for me? Is everything going well? And then I also ask them if they want more tutorials. Do you need help with eyeshadows? At this point, are you ready to add to your palette? I will say another thing in that appointment, I forgot to say this earlier, is when I'm reviewing the order sheet, I always talk to them about the most popular set that people get. And for me, it is a hack stack, which is 8 colors, any 8 colors, a brush, stay spray, and a brush cleaner. And I kind of go through that as my most popular package that most ladies purchase when they're purchasing for the first time. So, and then I also have samples of palettes here that they can kind of look at, review, touch, open up, and everything like that. So anyway, I hope this training was helpful, and I hope you learned a little bit. And if you have any questions at all, you're welcome to message your upline or the artist that is getting you started. And if you need clarification on anything that I said, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm always happy to help any artist, no matter what team they're on. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.